Okay, guys, real short wrap-up video today for our GreatStockPicks.com on Halloween. Now, the market hasn't traded since Friday, and for that reason, you can ask our members, I always err on the side of caution. So I went in today with I typed out this announcement for the room. I put, here's the note. Nobody in this room, nobody on the NYSE floor, nobody on CNBC, nobody anywhere has ever traded under this exact scenario, which is basically the first day of trading after a 2-day weather shutdown, the NYSE floor running on generators, plus tests being done before the market opened on how well trading would work today, etc. So there was a lot of wild cards in the air. I was not about to put my money to work this morning. I didn't want to be the first one, as one of our members put it. I didn't want to be the first one to test it. So I entered today with the thought that I might not even trade. I just wanted to be a spectator today. Having said that, I actually called one official trade. It's hardly a barn burner. And then I also sent out 2 SMS picks for our new SMS service. But I will explain Home Depot real quick. You had the big gap up here. I believe because it's Home Depot, right, and all the repairs that are going to have to be done, and materials are going to be needed, and everything else. So I'm assuming I didn't delve into it. I'm assuming this wasn't a gap off of earnings, but I think it was a gap off of the hurricane. Anyway, ever since the gap up, it's sold off. Buyers came in here and failed, and then when it came down to here, this is really when I noticed Home Depot. It came down into what I call the buy zone between these are 5-minute candles between the 20-period moving average and the 8-period moving average. Usually when I see a stock this oversold in the moment, I'll go to a lower time frame and look for a setup, and that's exactly what I did. When it looked like this, I turned the projector on so everyone could see it, and I switched to 2-minute candles. And this is exactly what it looks like on 2-minute candles. I like this little hammer candle here. My idea was a long over this candle, 61.35, stop 61.20. Okay, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes later, we are up 30 cents. Now, that's not a lot, but I'm a seller into this spike on most of my shares. Kept a few until it came back down near my entry and was out the rest. So this is hardly a barn burner or anything to brag about, but it was a nice tight stop. The theory or the thesis that I put out worked like a charm. And it gave a nice little bounce later too, but I was off doing other things. I wasn't watching it again. So all I have to point to for my official calls today are this 40-cent bounce in Home Depot. Wasn't bad though. It was on 15 cents risk, and we were never underwater. I also put out 2 SMS picks. Remember, these are meant to be traded with smaller shares. The stop is wider, and they're only going to be on intraday bottom feeding ideas. Well, before I go into the SMS, I put out 2 today, but I also wanted to give some credit to one of our members, KLB. His chat room initials are KLB. He pointed out Coinstar. Let me show you what it looked like when he pointed it out. All right, this is Coinstar, 5-minute candle, CSTR. And I looked at it after he pointed it out, and I went ahead and told everybody. I think I turned on the projector. I can't remember. Told everybody why this was a great alert by KLB. On Friday, this gapped down and put in a low of 40.50. Okay, these are 5-minute candles. Look at this move it made on Friday. It went up over $7. That's not true. Almost $7. From 40.50 over 47 on Friday. Huge move. Pulled back after that and closed, I don't know, closed right here around 44.50 or something like that. Anyway, today opens up right here. This is the opening 5-minute range, okay? And it stayed in that range all morning. So when KLB pointed it out, I completely agreed with him. I said if this gets through 45, let me turn this right back on here. When this gets through, if and when this gets through 45, this could be a good long. It would be a high of day break, a fairly narrow range, relatively speaking, compared to Friday's move, okay? And if Coinstar lights up the new highs ticker, it's probably going to be a good trade. Having said that, then I watched it trade. I knew it was kind of one of those thinner stocks, and it had a dime spread between the bid and the ask on average. So I let everybody know that. I said these are very tough to trade because of those big spreads, okay? Anyway, look what happens. So there it gets through 45. Oh, by the way, the stop idea I gave, I said if it breaks 45, there's your idea for a long. Stop would have to be below this little tight base here, about 30 cents below. So it did break, and it did hold the 30-cent stop, and look what happens. It ends up going and closing almost at the high of the day. So the 45 break gets you through 47 on about 30 cents risk, and that was all thanks to KLB. And again, after I looked at it, I totally agreed with them, and it was a pretty clean setup. I didn't take the trade because the spreads bothered me, but now at the end of the day, I feel like a buffoon because I got a $2 move. The spreads wouldn't matter at that point, right? But anyway, hats off to KLB. That was a great spot there. I also mentioned GTAT down when it got near 4 because of the daily chart. This had a nice bounce off 4 back in late May, early June, and then it was getting way ahead of itself to the downside. So I told everybody if this gets near 4, this could give a nice bounce, and it ended up getting to 403. And I saw one of our members celebrating. They got a nice move. This went up over 10, went to 460, so probably went up 15% from there. I didn't take that one either, but I still, at least the idea worked and somebody in the room made money off of it. I know the All-Stars had some good picks, didn't record them today, so I apologize. And I'm going to get into the SMS calls, and then I'll be done. JCPenney was the first one I put out today. The reason for the call, these are daily candles. You can see it had a pretty good-sized daily candle relative to what it usually has, okay? And down to the 100-day moving average. So you had the whole number support of 24, you had the 100-day moving average, and you had price support just to the left. Nice week and a half long base at 24. So for 3 reasons, this looked good around 24. And then on an intraday basis, this is what it looked like when I called it, okay? It had already sold off big, bounced, and then kind of trailing lower, and then got that potential final push down look to it. So there's all the reasons behind why I sent out the text alert. JCPenney's at 24 for a possible intraday bottom, and look what happens. It gets up to 24.14 and closes right at 24. So it just did nothing. And you know what? That's better than having it roll over and stop us out. So I'll take a flat trade any day over a stock that stops us out. And then my other call was BTU, kind of giving that potential final push down look to it. We call that a PFPU in our chat room. Whenever the tops of the candles, it's grinding lower all day, and then you get what I call shape change on increasing volume. That's what a potential intraday bottom looks like. I sent out the text when it looked like this at 27.75. Look what happens. We get a little bottoming tail there, and it gets up through 28. Now, again, nothing to brag about. It went up 30 cents. And again, these are meant to be traded smaller, and closed up only 13 cents above the entry. So neither one of those were barn burners, but neither one of those hurt anybody either. And this SMS service, there's going to be some nice ones because we're pretty good at finding intraday bottoms, and sometimes by the end of the day we have a dollar move in our favor. So if you're an SMS member, don't be discouraged by no big ones yet. Most of what we've called have closed. I think everything we've called have closed at or above where we called them. And some of them have given pretty nice moves. All right, anyway, I'm going to quit babbling. We'll talk to you guys later.